Hello. Um, just wanted to do a quick reply to your video to see if I could provide some insight as to what might be going on with those problems that you mentioned, because right now I'm not seeing them, but I definitely see what you're talking about in the video. Um, what I wanted to do real quick is just kind of show you how I have this set up for the test. So if you unlock these, most people probably can see the numbers here. That's when you go to actually assign to like different groups, say like your long buffs. When you pick a window here, the number there is the number of the window that those are going to show up in. You get 10 windows plus the group and raid frames, but 10 windows you can use to customize stuff. But if you go to Aura Display, these numbers here also correspond to these windows. So when you're looking to customize a window and how it looks, click on the number, like for this case, like 8 is where I'm going to put, regular debuffs in number 8 on the right side of my character and whitelist prominent debuffs in number 4 on the left side of my character. And so you can go into 4 and 8 and set up how those look. But what I wanted to point out was when you go to on the general tab, I'm going to assign targets debuffs. So basically any debuffs that are on your target, I'm going to assign to window 8. That's the one on the right hand side. So any debuffs are going to show up. Now that means any debuffs that I don't manually assign to track to my prominent debuffs. So under filters, if you go into the different whitelists, these are basically prominent windows. You can assign like a special window that manually entered abilities. Like for example, I put taunt and major breach. I'm going to send prominent debuffs to a separate debuff window. I'm going to send it to number 4. So basically things I've whitelisted that are debuffs on the target are going to go in the left, and just anything else that I haven't manually whitelisted is going to go to the right. And I wanted to say that there is a separate only show players debuff for the prominent window, whatever you assign that to. Mine's 4. And then like when you are assigning just the regular debuffs from over here, target debuffs, if you scroll down, actually no, it's on filters. If you scroll down to filters for the target, there is another only player debuffs for that one. So I have it set for number 8, which is where the regular debuffs are assigned from excuse me, from the general tab, and then I have it also assigned under the debuff whitelist for this one. So both have it set. That option has to be set for whichever window you're using. If you set the option here and not for here, you're going to see group buffs in your regular debuffs. If you scroll down and you set only player debuffs for where you're putting your regular debuffs, you're only going to see your own there. But if you've whitelisted debuffs and not set it for that, you're going to see group members putting major breach on stuff. You're going to see their major breach will show up there. So you have to set it in both places. So that's something else to check. And that, I think that was it for the setup. The customization doesn't really matter. So basically we just want to make sure that the stuff goes to the right place and it stays there when you move your mouse off and come back. So I'm just going to look at these 2 bugs, and I'm going to run up to the first one, and I'm going to put Pierce Armor on him, which is doing major fracture and major breach. So right off what you're going to see, and it taunts, and I've got taunt and major breach whitelisted. So you should see taunt and major breach go over to the left side, and you should see the other one that I haven't whitelisted, major fracture, go over to the right side. And then I'm also hit this, which puts minor maim and some other stuff that I'm not tracking, so you should see other stuff show up in the right side for that, and that should separate them out, and it should look the way it should. And then I'll go ahead and let that tick a little bit, and then I'll put the same thing on the other one, and then I'll switch back and forth so you can see that they both update and keep track. So I guess I'll go ahead and put my evasion on just for giggles. Alright, so taunt, and there's the other ones. I move the mouse off. Okay, so it's keeping track of that. I'm going to go over to the other guy and put those same things on there. and then I look back at the other guy, they're probably almost out because I put it on him first. So I'm going to switch back over to him, just look at him. So they're completely gone on this guy. So I'll go ahead and reapply those. And they're probably gone on the other guy by now, so let's reapply them. So, and then, you know, switching back and forth, it's definitely keeping track of them. There, they ran out on that guy. They're probably pretty close on this other guy. So, if you're just tracking taunt, it makes it real easy to see when you have to reapply the essential things that are showing up on the left that I've whitelisted. But as you can see, I mean, it's not losing track of stuff, and it's keeping track of stuff accurately and not showing up in any weird places. So aside from the setting for the players only debuffs, as far as those problems go, I mean, I really couldn't tell you, man. Other add-ons can maybe conflict if you've got UI modding add-ons other than the ones that are supported, but usually the thing I recommend first is to go to your add-ons directory and manually delete the Srendarr folder and then go and re-download it, because sometimes if you, especially if you're getting download updates with Minion and there's some kind of a network snafu, it will, like, I've seen it happen. It's not just, you know, a BS thing. I've actually seen add-ons with pieces of old versions of themselves not working correctly when the latest version works correctly because something didn't go right with the update. So seriously, something to try when it's something weird like that that I cannot reproduce and have no idea why it's happening. Delete the folder and re-download it, and make sure you have everything from the latest version, and then log completely out of the game and try it again. And if it's still happening, then we probably will have to look at, you know, other things like disabling add-ons that might conflict with it. If you are able to run it with just Srendarr and it works, then start re-enabling add-ons like one at a time. And if you find the one that's the culprit, let me know and I can try and track it down. But especially when there's no error, without doing that, it makes it real hard to kind of guess like what could be happening, because like I said, as you can see, I'm not seeing it. But I do believe you're having an issue. I would start with deleting it and re-downloading it manually and go from there. So I